some sort of punctuality to it. Like,
All right, we're live.
oh, you just went live. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right,
I
fair
just
enough.
hit the button
Whatever.
instead. We're not going to do any intro video.
Now, okay, so
waiting.
now did you
We're in the middle of a fun conversation. We're just going to jump right into this.
No, hang on. No, I gotta make sure that you actually like hit the
Yes,
button
I hit
twice.
the actual
yeah,
button.
okay. Okay, because the last time I asked that one time, I was like, yeah. Remember that time you hit the button and then you were like, yeah, I hit the button, and
that was
I asked
because
you.
I didn't realize that they reset the settings and made you have to hit the yes. Are you sure you want to go live? Probably because I had tested an OnlyFans stream.
It's okay to admit that I was correct, Bree. It's fine. All right, like it won't kill you to do so.
I was admitting you were right because I did completely not realize that pop-up came up.
Yep, I know. I just want to like rub that in every
I will
stream.
stroke that fucking ego of yours and admit that you were right once.
I'm getting my ego stroked on live stream. Hot.
Oh, I don't know if we can show this.
It's too loud for Twitch. Yeah, I really don't fucking care. Twitch, you can suck it.
I think we call out Twitch's bullshit every single stream.
It's a must at this point.
It's
a meme that we've made because of it.
It would be remiss if we didn't do it, right?
And we're already at episode 10 of the year already, and we're not even done with May. We've actually been very good about not missing weeks.
Oh,
That's
I'll be
good.
missing a whole bunch of weeks.
You'll be missing too, but I will be taking the time to finish off Weird West. And I'm probably going to try to get my friend from TikTok, Kaz, to come on one of those. Not come, of course, but just be a fill-in host. Although her followers and the hundreds of thousands of ones with that would probably love to see that from her.
Yeah, I'm going to miss only 2. I might actually miss 4. I'm moving
fine.
at the end of the month, which is like next week, I guess. And so I need to settle into my new place before I will be around again. So it'll be Bree and Frozen without the Frozen for a little while.
Which is literally what I named the streams. It's the best part.
Whatever. I can't help it. Life happens sometimes. Like it's like Jeff Goldblum said, life finds a way to suck.
Yep.
Okay, now I'm trying to go through my database here. I found all my Indo-Roman tags, so let me go through here.
Oh, we're still talking about that. Okay.
Bree is fucking determined.
I am a history buff. Okay, I lectured in college in Western Civ. Okay, I found the copy of one of the maps here. So it's called Putting Your Table. It's a medieval copy of a 4th century map. Some say it's 5th century, but it actually literally shows one of the main ports for trade of the Roman Empire on the southwestern coast of India.
Interesting. Okay.
Mursis is the name of the place.
I'll have to take a look into it. Probably not right now, but...
But yeah,
I'm sure there's plenty of videos about it too.
Embassies recorded info about like Indian ambassadors bringing gifts for like Constantine and all that from like the 4th century.
Which was a great movie. I don't give a shit what anyone says. Fight me in real life. I don't give a fuck.
Constantine was an entertaining film. I will 100% agree on that.
I kind of have a thing for what's her face. Oh god, she plays the angel and I forget her name every time. Tilda Swinton, that's right. Yeah.
Well, how about this? I'm gonna say something super, like, controversial. I don't really like Keanu Reeves.
Dun dun dun.
Okay.
Stream's over.
I just think he's fucking boring. I mean, he's always 100% straight-faced in everything I've ever seen him in, and I hate it. It's like, if you wanted to do another fucking role, put on a fucking smile. Do something.
Is it?
He's the same character in The Matrix that he plays in fucking Constantine. A soulless motherfucker with no face.
This makes it so much fun though, because like basically Neo is Bill and Ted, freaking from Bill and Ted, yeah, which is great. Like internally, like at the lore.
This is my perspective on Keanu Reeves. In real life, he's a chill dude. He's definitely a likable guy, and he will actually smile in real life. But yeah, like when he acts, he is such a straight-faced one. Literally, his best role was from the Bill and Ted movies, the original
I didn't even
ones.
see that.
You are young.
I want to see. I've got a copy of Freaks with Alex Winter, the movie they're in together, and like whatever, and he's in it as well. And I want to see what he's like in that, because it's like they were just coming off Bill and Ted, I guess. And I want to see if the dynamic changed between them in that movie, because yeah, it's like the lost Keanu Reeves movie.
It's so interesting how he like almost tries to push himself in a certain style, and it's like, dude, you can break out of that. I think that was the issue Daniel Craig had why he wanted to quit playing the Bond movies, is he kept playing the same kind of roles, whether it was a Bond film or not. It's like, I can completely understand that.
Then you look at like people like Robin Williams and Jim Carrey, and they're always like these upbeat, kind of funny people. It's like, you know, that's awesome. Even Tom Cruise, that douchebag that he is, at least he does something, you know?
He actually tries to act.
Yeah, exactly.
I love him as the movie producer in Tropic Thunder. That was great. Yeah.
I just love how you call him a douchebag.
He is. Have you heard what he said about like mental illness?
Yes.
Facts.
Oh my god, he's such a prick.
I just like how
you see the time he jumped on the couch?
Completely unabashedly say that though. Like, there's so many people who will fucking play the focus group tested answer, and they will just they won't be honest about it. And it's like, no, just
I'm gonna
say
it, and it's gonna be right. It's just he's a prick, plain and simple. And there are plenty other actors and actresses out there that are just as much of pricks.
It's true.
Like Sean Young. Oh wait, did I go there? Yeah, I went there. Fuck you, bitch.
Who's Sean Young?
She's the chick who she's in a bunch of shit. She plays the chick robot in Blade Runner, and she was noted. Her and Harrison Ford did not get on because she's a massive see you next Tuesday, according to the deep lore. She was also spoiler alert, she was Finkel in fucking Ace Ventura, and she actually played Finkel before everyone's like, no, she was actually Einhorn. No, she played Finkel too, dude. Like, they just put a wig on her.
Yep.
So, you know, spoiler alert.
Bridget, it's good to see you. Hope your weekend goes well. Holiday weekend, yay!
Make it right!
I finally got a 3-day weekend where I'm not sick.
Thank you, Bridget,
I'm coughing, but that's because I'm a smoker.
I'm actually taking one of the 3-day weekends for a change because I fucking need it. Like, starting on the 3rd, I have a lot of shit to do.
With Miranda in the state, it's like, no, I'm gonna make the most of this before she gets into her busy time where, like, I won't hear from her for at least a week, if not longer. It's like, no, I'm gonna make the most of this, come off medical stuff, I'm gonna relax, be in good shape, and then be without my best friend for too long. It's weird, like, we talk at least every other day, typically. But then again, that's also, she's like my only support, so I kind of have to go with that.
What do you mean you're only support?
In normal, like, daily shit, yeah. She's the one person that is always around.
Sucks.
My biological family is a lost cause.
I completely understand that. 100%.
And having been burned and generally being pessimistic and
I know that
annoyed with people in general most of the time, yeah, trust is not something easily gained. My closest friends are in Scotland. It's not like I can rely on them daily, especially with that time zone difference of 6 hours.
Yeah, my bestie just moved into Colorado. I'm not saying where.
I mean,
but like,
I still have you, Frozen, but again, our schedules don't always line up either. We're busy.
Oh no. Not given how much we work and the type of industry we work in.
Like, these streams are literally our chosen opportunity to make time for each other, basically.
Yeah, this is basically us electing to hang out and then letting
and
other
it's like, well, we're just gonna stream it because we're entertaining as fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We've given people a chance to funnel in, which is always nice. Welcome,
Yep.
everyone in chat.
Watching.
the counter says 3, but I know that we have a couple lurkers in there too.
Oh.
But that's fine.
Well,
we still love the lurkers. They're probably playing games and just listening to us.
It's fine.
Which is completely fine, completely normal, and actually completely normal for gamers because we like to multitask shit.
You know what? I'll go on my Twitter, and I'm gonna see if we can get a few more people in here.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Mostly, we enjoy getting guests on because it's nice to talk to other people and talk about shit. And the YouTube gets people who actually like to sit and listen to like the majority of the streams, which is really nice to see. I really appreciate that metric. We actually do get recommended because people like listening to us, which is, I don't know why.
They must like the times where you have all those gaps. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Some people just like to listen to things in the background, that's all.
Yeah, when I did long form essays, people explicitly told me the reason they watch them is because they're about an hour and a half long, and they just like to listen while they play games. Like that was the only reason I got.
Or something to have on when they go to bed to listen to. We have a couple people we know. One trans journalist does that we know.
Oh.
She's currently on a little bit of a hiatus for medical things actually as well, so seems to be the theme of the week.
So do we want to introduce our guest since she's
yes Hentai House, go ahead and introduce yourself to the YouTube video and our wonderful workers.
Let's see, I am lewd, let's put it that way. I am Hentai House. I have almost 3,000 followers on YouTube. I was on Twitter. And I used to have over 7, almost 8,000, but then my account got hacked. So, you know, good times.
Good old Twitter.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I just post loads and loads and loads and loads of pretty much futa and fembai stuff. All day.
The two best categories.
Literally the only reason why Twitter continues to exist, in my opinion.
For real.
With art Twitter and adult Twitter, it's like, no, it literally is like some of the most popular shit out there. One of the only reasons why I think Elon Musk is very happy with that part of Twitter. I think he's going to leave it alone.
He's got a.
I think the only thing he wants is maybe to have futa cat girls, which who's going to complain about that?
Well, you say that, but I just tweeted something, and it has your name in it, so go ahead and take a look at that, and you'll see what I posted.
Okay, futa cowgirl, same thing. But yes, I found you because of our mutual artist friends, Vicky and
Lex.
Yes. Both wonderful artists. I wish I could share their art on stream.
I know. Everything they do is lewd. Actually,
no. The one Throne one. Vicky did do a clean version for me.
Oh, okay.
And
so
I haven't quite implemented that in the way I want. Let me pop this into. Oh, I moved where everything is now. I think the main reason I haven't used it is technically it would be using it for profit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. It's on the external drive, and that is at Ty's place because he needed that for something else.
Well, any case, I was talking to Lex earlier. I hadn't spoken to them since New Year's, and
he has been on a kick of doing like 3D stuff too.
He's actually been very absent, I noticed. So that's why I kind of wanted to see what's up. And I found out that they have kind of like an artist block right now, for one. And two, they're kind of close to a certain event that's happening over in the eastern side of the world.
Ah, yes. There is one femboy that I know that is in that same sort of general part of the world, and it's like, I kind of feel bad for him because it definitely has made his content creation a little more difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, poor dude.
Yeah, and like entire like sections of my friends list are just gone now because they're from that part of the world.
Breaks our hearts.
I know.
Honestly, it's been one of the few good things of the internet since even the bulletin board days. It's like, oh, we got gamers and cool peeps from all over.
I know.
Play Mortal Kombat with your friend from Vietnam, as the cable guy said. I remember that too fucking well. I'm sorry.
Well, back in the vanilla World of Warcraft days, one of the people in our Horde guild was a girl from China. She would actually play from China when she went back home during the summer breaks.
I'm actually surprised that they'd allowed that.
I think she kind of sidestepped things a little bit back then.
Yeah, I'm gonna say like.
Oh, don't say that on stream.
Oh, she doesn't live in China anymore. She emigrated to the U.S. years ago.
Good.
Finally, she and her family didn't want to put up with the bullshit anymore. I don't blame them.
So imagine like you're applying to immigrate to the U.S. and just like the reason you want to immigrate, I want to play World of Warcraft.
I want to play more video games with people, and it's like, that's a legitimate reason. We like this. Welcome.
I want to watch Captain America, not Captain Communist.
No, even back in the in the early 2000s, thankfully our government was smart. It's like, you know what, esports is going to be a thing. We got to start getting the Asians here.
Mm-hmm.
Embrace that stereotype of them being good. It's like, you know, I'm okay with that. It's like,
I gotta say.
Oh yeah, but it's one of those things where it's like, we go up to any gamer that is Asian. It's like, I'm gonna assume you're a good video game player. It's like, do you not think for a split second they're not gonna be like, you know what? I think I kind of want to take that, even if they're really bad at games.
Oh yeah.
It's like the joke from the one Indian comedian. It's like, if you go up to a black guy and tell him he's got a big dick, you think he's gonna deny it?
I know, that's good.
He's gonna be, yes, I do. Thank you.
Why? Thank you for
then
this.
You go up that one Irish guy, and I bet you got a small dick, yeah.
No. You go up to him and go, I bet you can handle your alcohol well. Even if they can't, they're going to agree with it.
No, they totally can't. That's the thing. If you met Irish people, I live in England. I'm sorry,
but they like people to think they can, even if us Germans will completely kick their ass.
See, the problem is that all the Irish people who could drink got kicked out and sent over to Boston, and so now they're all over here, and they're my ancestors.
You actually have to go to Ireland to get like the real like Super Saiyan alcoholics, right?
You need to go to Boston to get them. What are you talking about?
I love Boston. Boston is still one of my top 5 favorite cities in all the United States.
Why?
Why?
You're talking about my old stomping grounds, dude. I've been there. It's horrible. Why would you want to go to Boston?
Fucking disgusting.
One, I love all the historical
sites.
sites.
Rats out of alleys constantly. It's disgusting.
I love all the historical sites. The expos for the gaming stuff has always been a lot of fun. Look, the taxi drivers do not suck like New York City.
Massachusetts has plenty of great historical sites, okay? You don't have to go to Boston to go see them. Just go see Plymouth Rock. It may be some rock some old guy went instead. Oh, this is where the Mayflower landed. But no, it's not.
Well,
some old guy just hated something.
Compare Boston to, let's say, New York City, San Francisco,
okay.
Los Angeles, Dallas,
okay,
Austin. I'd rather be in the worst part of Boston than in any of those other cities.
I mean,
no, I think Austin would be interesting.
I never want to go back to Austin. Fuck it.
You couldn't pay me to go back to New York. I fucking hate it.
Yes, New York is miserable.
It.
Los Angeles is even worse than New York.
Oh yeah, I've been there too. Yeah, it's horrible.
It is beyond terrible.
Don't you rob me, bitch. You just stole my Mystic Apple. I'm gonna totally destroy you.
I'm so glad most artists do not, any of us designer types work with, do not live in California. We'd have
Yeah,
to
they all
deal with
live-
crazy
I
people
know.
then.
Yeah, they're all moving to fucking Colorado and not having fun with that. Trust me, not at all.
Sometime I'm gonna get Vic to do something a little outside her norm again, like we did with the down the rabbit hole one. But first, I gotta get her a little extra money saved up because I'm gonna do the full fucking realism version.
I love their art, but God, are they expensive?
Not as bad as some. My Unreal Engine model was, what was it, $1,000?
Oh my God.
But it's got the full AR kit. It's got all the fun. I can run around in
that's not
a full
the same
scene and
thing,
everything.
Though.
Yes.
I'm talking about,
a 2D illustration?
Yeah.
No. But they're actually rather reasonably priced. There are some where, what is it, Scoochon? Like, some of the ones for her, it's like, your easily minimum is only like $600. With Vic, it's like, $150. It's a fraction of it. I will say though.
Also depends on what you're getting.
I will say though, and I want your opinion on this. Will you say it's kind of nice that a lot of the nice sort of bigger artists, especially ones that do a lot of, they don't do commissions, but do a lot of like fan stuff, especially like anime and video game related stuff, do Fuda versions regularly?
Oh, I love it. I mean, it's perfect.
10 years ago, that never would have been a thing.
Oh, no, not at all. No, 10 years ago, I would have been... I think you got the anatomy wrong. But nowadays it's like, alright.
Even 5 years ago, it would have been a little unusual. Now it's just like, what, you're not including a free Fuda version? What's wrong with you?
In fact, the default should be the Fuda, and you should have to pay to get the change to be a pussy.
Oh, honey, you gotta pay to go get anything from me.
Oh, thank you, too cute. Cute?
You're too cute.
Welcome. One of the Patreons I follow, I don't know if you've heard of them. Let me grab their link here real quick. I was actually literally in their page earlier. Digital Dark Pinups. I don't know if you've
No, I haven't.
heard of theirs.
No.
They actually came out with another set of models, and I love the fact that they always do a Fuda version. For once. And so like they did a cat girl one, and they did Ronnie from wonderful Elden Ring. And actually, that's the model I'm looking forward to, but that's going to be like a couple gigs for 3D printing, which is insane.
I just can't wait until someone puts your Fuda model, the one that you saw was it last stream or the stream before? I want to see it in Sonic Adventure 2.
So you'll enjoy this. The Unreal Engine model. The artist that did it, wonderful young lady, love her to death. She forgot to lock down the physics, and so it just started stretching and bouncing all over the place.
I love when that happens.
In the video, it's like yep, you're gonna poke someone's eye out with that, including your own.
Oh my god.
Not literally now to put that to the wonderful Christmas story stuff. You'll poke your eye out. You're
hot.
There's an artist I was looking at earlier. I actually bought a couple things from them.
Actually, I'm gonna put this in stream chat as well. People should go check them out. They do some great tabletop ones too.
Is that like allowed in Twitch? Twitch to link to certain content. Like
they're not primarily not safe for work. Primarily, they are safe for work.
Okay, cool. I'm asking because to be that like voice of reason or whatever.
I especially love the fact that they have some rather really nice, clever ones. Like they had this one elf girl archer one that was really nice. Like It'd be fun to use for some tabletop RPG stuff. That's for sure. There's another one with a similar name that has the same sort of content. Let me find theirs.
Yes,
Oh, that artist.
The link that I just sent. I just got a few stickers from them.
They have Squirtle.
Yeah. One second.
Blastoise is my favorite Pokemon. Like, I literally want to do a...
Oh my god. Hold on 1 second. I gotta send you a picture.
Goofy one. No, here is the other 3D one that also does some really cool tabletop ones. They did a Sorceress one, Valkyrie on a Pegasus. Like, they have some pretty fucking sweet. And I love the fact how it, like, they do such a good job of balancing sexy with not going too far for all the public stuff. Like, it's fantastic. That's what more needs to do.
Squirtle was my first Pokemon, and I had got this at PAX East.
I love PAX East. Every time I've gone to PAX East, they always had you can play video games, but they also had some tabletop games.
Oh, I love that.
I always ended up getting invited to play with just people I've never met before. And we'd sit there for hours and just have fun. And it's like, this is gamer life. All these people who claim gamers are violent, terrible people. It's like, look at us. We're just being cozy. We don't care about any of this stuff. We just want to have fun with each other.
There was, so when I went there, one of the last times I went, I haven't gotten in a couple years because of COVID. You know, just wanted things to die down. And, one of the times I went with a friend of mine, and he's super shy, and we were going through, like, one of those bridges that goes across the top, right? With all the glass. And there was this girl, and she was dressed up in an Eevee outfit, and she was so cute. Aww. And I was like, hey, watch this. I took out a little ocarina that was shaped like a Pokeball that I bought, and I went up to her, taking it out of the box. I'm like, hey, any chance I could catch you? And she just started laughing with her and her friends. I don't know, I turned to my friend, and I'm like, come on, you should get a Pokeball too. You can catch one of them as well. Just blushed and walked away. I'm like, I love this.
See, cleverness is so the way to go. If you can make people laugh, you're done. Life's good.
No, there's a guy
look like me.
There's a guy that hit me up this week on one of the dating apps I'm on, right? And it was his like third picture was how to get a girlfriend. It was basically just Pokemon, but instead of Pokeballs, it was tacos.
Yes,
he just threw a bunch of tacos.
It works.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, you get a conversation.
I got home some stuff late yesterday. Wasn't very happy. Wasn't planning on making any food or stuff. I was just planning on going to sleep. I get home, Ty fucking shows up with Taco Bell. Not from the shitty one that's here in town, but by the one down where he lives, where they actually do a good job. And I'm just like, it's like, okay, yes, you will spend the night now here, and we will play video games and eat tacos, and then I will fall asleep.
And tonight you'll have a fish taco.
See, this is why we don't see time travelers. They're busy to like go on the Taco Bell and going back in time and just banging kings and queens of old.
It's the only way to live.
Yeah, right.
Well,
I'll do it.
Simple life.
Yeah. There was this other time that I went to PAX East, right? And I'm walking around. It was either the time I went with my sister or the last time I went with my buddy. And there was this lady, and oh my word, was she smoking hot. I mean, full on, like, Miss Universe. Like, holy shit. And she had a rack on her that would make men drop.
I have some female friends like that. It's always fun to see guys' reactions in public to them. Because I can just sit back and laugh and giggle, and they're just like, why are you laughing? It's like, it's almost like that they've never seen this kind of stuff before.
No, but yes. It's better.
Me every summer.
it gets better. So she's in a Luigi outfit, right? And it's a crop top, so it goes just above, just below where her nipples are. So
yes, the underboob method is very dangerous.
Yeah, and she's wearing short shorts with the overall straps. She's got the fake mustache, the hat, wearing everything. And I'm like, okay, where's Mario? And she moves, and I see this dirty, grumpy-looking old Italian dude, like grimy and greasy, standing there, holding her, squeezing her, and I'm like, oh, like I hope to God that's like her fucking father or something, because that's just nasty. He was so disgusting. But there's this like babe right there. I'm like, how much did you pay?
Actually, you would be surprised how much women will overlook looks so long as you can, provide stability, make them laugh,
We'll have a huge
certain
dick.
other things. Oh yes, that definitely is a big help. Frozen can
even if you don't have a huge dick, you know how to fucking use it. Like that beats out every time. Every time. Yeah, if you actually know what the fuck you're doing, like, because having a big dick don't mean you know shit. All right.
Well, you say that, but it takes a long time to get to England in a rowboat from Boston.
Sure, that's why you gotta go fast.
Well, like that's something so many people will look at and they're like, how did a guy land someone like her? And it's like, do you understand that, yes, women have sort of the power role in picking who they're with, but at the same time, it's like, what they look at is very different than what guys look at. And it's very fascinating.
Oh shit, I forgot where I was going. Hang on.
Straight to hell.
No, I'm playing Wild Arms because for some reason I decided that this is my new favorite RPG now. And I completely got lost in the world map, and I'm just kicking the crap out of. I went back to all the old parts of the game and just started kicking the shit out of all the level 1 enemies because.
Because why not? Okay.
Yeah, why the fuck? That's the best part of the game. Would you?
Well, it's like people in World of Warcraft. Like, why do they still keep going back and running old content? Because it's fun to beat the shit out of things, and maybe you'll get some of the loot that you didn't get the first time when it first came out.
Yeah, I like going back to in Final Fantasy VII on Disc 3. I like going back to the Midgard, like freaking was it the I forget which one it is. The one of the sectors where you can get like the level 5 enemies and just trouncing the shit out of them. It's like, yeah, remember me, bitch? Oh, look at me, I'm a giant house. Yeah, whatever, bro. Okay.
I felt the same way about like the giants in Skyrim when I used to play. Like, you'd go and get one hit and oh look, I'm in space. And then you come back later on and you're like, hey, I see you have a couple mammoths too. Mind if I take your toe?
Wait, did I get lost? I got lost. Alright.
You got lost again?
Yeah, I have no fucking clue. Okay. No. It's literally because the world map of this thing only shows like dots and not the actual names of places, so I have no idea where the fuck anything is. Good job, world map. Thank you. It's not like I like labels or anything.
World map is a problem with a couple of games lately. There's one where I love it. It is growing in popularity at the moment. But it's like, dude, your world map needs some improvements. The fact that they have that people have made a website with a better world map than what you have in the game, just to make things easier. Like, you don't have to show everything like the world map that these people made have on it. But certain sort of basic things, after you've found them, would be really nice to keep on the map so you can have reference points. Or at least give us the ability to add it to the map in the game. Be like, hey, here's this spot, so I know where it is next time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, like markers on a world map is like the best fucking feature. If you have if you add a marker to that feature, adding markers to a world map, you actually gave a single fuck, and that's appreciated so hard.
Like, from a design perspective, it just is a must, and I don't understand why some of these game devs can't fucking understand basic design.
Yeah, it is one of the most easiest things to implement, right? It takes zero effort, and if you do it well enough, it takes fuck all memory and whatnot. It's just that little 2 extra days of development to do it.
Like, okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with this because, and you guys can give me your answer on this. Do you think that any good character art design, it is important to have photo references of someone sort of in the same pose or something like that to have sort of a starting place to basically understand?
Yes, as someone who trained as an animator, yes, basically, like, that's what all good animators...
It's like a necessary thing.
Yeah.
I mean, my sister, my best friend, and my ex are all artists, and every single one of them uses reference art, but my sister goes a step further. She has one of those little wooden dolls that normally are used for, like, making little outfits, and she actually puts them into the poses that she wants to, so she can go and get what she wants.
Oh,
I build mine out of Lego with the articulation pieces, so that because the wooden dolls don't fully, basically bionicle pieces, and because the free range of motion of the those ball joints allows for much more smoother, natural-looking poses.
Oh yeah.
Because the wooden dolls, I've got a bunch of them around here somewhere, and I never use them, especially the hand ones, because they don't. There's certain poses you cannot make with those because they're just too limited.
Like, I hate to call this person out by name, so I'm not going to. But I was watching one 3D artist on stream, and I'm looking at this pose that they're creating. Beautiful concept for the character, but the pose is so unnatural. Like, there isn't a woman on the face of the planet that's going to be in that position and not feel completely awkward. Well, okay, female hips have a little bit more range of motion than male hips, biologically speaking. But they do not, like, turn completely 90 degrees without feeling a little awkwardness, unless they really stretch those fucking ligaments to their maximum.
Have you seen some contortionists?
Yes, but it's not a normal pose for any normal.
Did you guys ever see the someone mocked up the 3D animations from the JoJo's intros because the poses they make are like so bizarre. So basically, someone showed from a different angle what it looks like, and the arms like it's like fucking ridiculous.
It's like you take the character's hips, you pop it out a joint, you turn it 90 degrees, and then you connect the mesh, and it's like, no. No, don't do that.
Sometimes 3D models for like animations aren't like game 3D models. They pose it in a particular way so that when they get it from a certain angle, the perspective kicks in and whatnot. There's a lot of that shit. So like you'll end up with a character with giant hands and like tiny little arms just because they want to emulate the perspective of it.
I still find it funny that my 3D model, my recent reprinting of it, they literally have her, and I haven't cut off all the supports yet. They literally have her fucking hammer digging through my character's boobs. It's like, pretty sure it will move, but not that much.
So I was one of Vic's like top Patreons, right? Okay. So she came over to me and was like, "Oh hey, what would you like me to have me do?" So I was like, "Oh, I'll give you an option between this, this, and this." And he was like, "Oh, I want this one." And I'm like, "Okay, go ahead and do it then." So she does it, and she sends it back to me. And see, with my sister and my best friend both being artists, every time that someone shows me art and said, "Hey, what do you think?" Well, I tell them exactly what I think. And I did this, and I got her a little pissed at me. And I feel so bad about it, and I feel so awkward because I was like, "Oh, it looks good, don't get me wrong, but the face is a little off, and it kind of looks a little creepy with the hand, and this and that and this." And I wasn't trying to be a Karen at all. It's just I was so used to, like, my sister. She just texted me because she's making a Metagross from Pokemon in 3D, and she asked me to tell her, "Oh, hey, what do you think?" And that's just what I did. So about an hour later, I get this big, long text from Vic, and I'm like, "Oh, God."
Oh no.
And she was pissed. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. And I just kind of avoided her for like a full month after.
See, that's like me with when someone asks me how their code is, except I give no fucks and I will just completely ego death them. I don't give a fuck. It's like you can be mad. I'm like I'm a supervillain. I don't give a shit. Write better code.
Like, there's probably gonna be a time I'll go to Vic and I will probably be like, hey, you know this one that you did for me? Can we do another version of it where you didn't make this choice that I left up to you?
Yeah.
I love her to death. She comes up with good ideas, but there are also things where it's like, there's also things that are my taste versus your taste.
Yeah, there was one time, I asked Lex for something. It was a picture of my secondary character that I RP with, and they sent it to me, and it just was off. There was just something off about it. I'm like, did you use a different color, or did you turn the brightness up or something? Because the skin just didn't look. It looked like you know when you look at a car and it's black and you get like either glossy or matte.
Yes.
Like, it looked like it was matte instead of glossy. I was like, it's just, something doesn't seem right. I even said to him, like, something just seems off. And they're like, no, this is the same exact color, everything's the same. It looked like, almost like it was blurry and matte. It was strange. But, I didn't complain too much. I'm like, you've made so many things for me. I'm just gonna let it go. I'm not gonna make a scene or anything. That's the only time I've ever had any sort of issue with anything Lexus ever made for me, because they are wonderful.
Yes.
But
I will say that the art community on Twitter in general tends to be pretty good. I will say, though, the whole issue with Sakami-chan, this week especially, I don't understand why people are so upset.
With what?
Did you, so, she took a character from an anime that...
No, who is this? What?
Sakami-chan?
I have no idea who that is.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, give me some context,
she
please.
does a lot of, sort of fan work. I have her Deviant Art one here. I'll just put, actually, no.
Deviant Art still exists? Shit, alright.
Yeah, jeez, that's
actually,
like
let me
2003.
Yeah.
Let me find her Twitter, actually.
And I'm younger than both of you, so Jesus Christ, you know?
There we go. I will pop this in here.
Drop something.
But she took one anime character and aged the character. Because obviously anime characters in many series are underage. It's creepy.
Yeah. Oh,
And
wow,
people went
great.
after her for it. Like, oh my god, are you encouraging, certain bad behavior? It's like, no, we purposely aged them because A, it's creepy, and honestly, it'd be fun to kind of imagine what some of these characters would be like.
Was it Anya? 31 years old?
And as a fuck you to those people, she did a second one of the character just to be like, you know what? Fuck
I
you.
can see one with no top.
But it's like, she's very good with ultra realism. Personally, I kind of like stylized a little bit more. I think it lasts longer. I mean, some of the most famous art pieces in the world are more stylized, not hyper realistic.
Oh my god.
But it was one of those things where it's like, look, we have to, these are fictional characters. You can't always,
oh my god,
assume
Jessie.
certain things.
Oh, her Jessie from
Pokemon
is amazing. Oh
Isn't
my
that
god.
exactly sort of what, some people have wanted to imagine that character to be?
Oh, I'm gonna imagine that tonight.
You heard it here first.
Ooh. And it's got a cat. See the meow from the background?
Yes.
It's actually the same type of cat that I used to have as a child.
She will put little things like that in the background. Like with my original character, if you on the little starting splash screen one, we have my little baby dragon. In there. And I always include the little baby dragon as sort of this little background thing, as sort of just a little homage to being part of the same gaming community for, oh, good lord, 26, 27 years at this point.
Mm-hmm. I might make the suggestion
and she,
on my phone.
Sakami does that same thing where she will kind of insert little things in there that some people won't notice right away or even at all. And it's like, no, we're putting this in here because A, it's adorable, and B, it kind of actually makes things better because you're committing, justice for the character and trying to make it be more than just this, naughty fan art.
Oh my god.
There's nothing wrong with there's nothing wrong with naughty fan art. It's just, it's nice to also kind of make it a little more honest.
Yeah. I gotta say though, I'm looking at this Masato that she did back in May.
Mm-hmm.
The one where she's nude with the glass of whiskey right between her legs has me biting my freaking finger like, oh my god. My mouth is
I
watering.
wish, and I've told Sakami-chan this, I forget, I think it was on Instagram. It's like, I really wish you would do commissions. And it's like, I completely understand why she doesn't. It is such a hassle, and there are people that don't want to pay for certain amounts of hours of work that these artists put in. Like, I feel so bad for some of them, but at the same time, it's like, she understands that some of us that have a good reputation, that have worked with a number of artists, it's like, you're kind of missing out on some fun, interesting concepts that would be fun to work with.
Oh my god, she did.
Like, I've enjoyed seeing some of the stuff that you post, because it's like, I'm gonna, make note, and I've bookmarked a couple where it's like, okay, I'm gonna remember this because, this pose is really good. This could be useful.
Yeah, so whenever I go to Lex or Vic, right, I instantly get told by them, oh, we love doing your work. I'm like, really? They're like, you come up with some of the most interesting and different ideas. That's why we love doing it. And I'm like, oh.
And that's one of the things I want to talk about. It's where do you get some of your inspiration? Because for me, it can sometimes come from some of the weirdest fucking places.
A lot of it is just my own imagination. The other half is sometimes real world experience. You know the type of experience I mean.
Yeah. For me, the real world experience part doesn't play really much of a role.
Yeah. So if you look at my Twitter, right, the main picture that I have, the one that I have as my pinned, this actually comes from real life, but it's not. It didn't come from something lewd, but it came from a lewd thought. And there's a story behind it, if you'd like to hear it.
Yeah.
Sure.
We love good stories.
So, when I was in, I'll say 6th grade or so, we had a teacher who used to go and substitute. She was like a helper in the math class, and her name was Magyar. She was this really Norwegian name. She was always like, yeah, no one knows how to spell it, but she was smoking hot. And one day, the history teacher, Mrs. Carroll, got pregnant, and she had to leave. And Miss Magyar became the new substitute because she already knew all the kids, and she could go and help. So she used to come in with these big, well, not big, but these brown turtlenecks, and they would be pretty form-fitting, and she had the nicest rack on her, and she would wear these really tight yoga pants stuff. So my inspiration for this original art that I had of my character came from the idea of her wearing the turtleneck, but it being a turtleneck dress instead.
Those can be fun. I think sweater dresses in general sort of come back in popularity, thankfully.
Oh yeah.
You know I love my sweater dresses.
Yes,
every fucking
I was thinking exactly of you.
Yeah, you can pry my sweater dresses from my cold dead tits, alright? For real.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of anyone who would actually be that mean and actually,
My old job that wrote me up for wearing a sweater dress, yeah, I told him to go get fucked.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Were you being too distracting to the other programmers?
they were saying I needed to well, they were saying I needed to dress within the uniform code, and I was like, your uniform code sucks because it's like it doesn't account for things like the winter in Colorado, which
Oh God,
can fucking
yes,
kill
winter
you.
by you guys is like winter here, where it's like okay, it could be mild or it could be fucking 20 below zero.
It could, no, that could happen within 10 minutes of each other, right? So you have to kind of prepare for that shit. And of course, they didn't. Also, they were cheap, so they didn't want to pay for like the heat.
What?
You know, no, that kind of really important thing that you need in the middle of fucking winter. So they were like, just no. Yeah, bunch of assholes. So I refused to get written up. I was like, I'm not letting you write me up for this. It's like, if it's fucking cold, you need to turn up the heat, fuckers. Right?
Let's see. So
I pull so little from real life, which I find interesting that you go in the other direction. Yet,
yeah, I mean, if you look at like the cake one, it's in like the description and the replies and stuff. That one I was like, remember that video cake fart?
Oh.
See that?
Yes.
I did not.
No. Oh. Well, it was just this woman farting on a cake. It was a funny like pre TikTok. But I mean, who doesn't love cake? And everyone always does like the whipped cream on the tits or
Yeah.
on the cock or
it's
something
so
like that.
overdone.
So I was like, well, my character is motherly, loves cooking, so why not a cake and her on the counter, kind of in the cake? You know what I mean? And I'm like, I said to Lex, I'm like, look, make it so she's like got some on her, and there's like a cake, a strawberry cream cake, but it still shows some of the cake, and make it so that she has like a dab on her finger, and she's like licking it off, and he's like, what's a dab? And I'm like, oh, that's right, from
language barrier.
English speaking. I'm like, a dab is like, I showed him a picture of someone just like
a smidgen,
like taking icing off of a cake with their finger. And you're like, okay, got it.
Yeah, language barrier, it's still something where I try to not screw it up, but just some vernacular I just unfortunately can't help but use.
It's understandable. Let's see. Then there's the Marcy one in the shower, and I'm like, well, I love shower stuff, so.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, maybe.
Yes. That is an underused one. I would go so far as to say.
Yep. And then I was like, well, she's a cop. She's supposed to be super fit. She's like the character who is the most fit out of the entire force, and none of the other cops realize that she's a Fuda. So I was like, maybe she just got home from the gym, and her police clothes are on the side, and her gym clothes are just kind of thrown around, and he gave me that picture, and I was like, yes, it's perfect. Then there was the door open one, and I'm just like, oh, one of them's horny, the other one's surprised, and he's just like, got it. Easy.
Keep it simple.
Yep. But the one that I love the absolute most isn't actually posted on here. I didn't get the chance to put it on. It's one of Marcy, and she's on the bed with her police uniform on her actual, arms and shoulders, and it's open and no pants, and she's just kind of standing there. I don't know if I ever showed you it. Did I?
I don't think so, but I can kind of get sort of the general picture in my head.
It's really beautiful. I can actually send it to you on Twitter.
I'm actually trying to find the one from Vicky that was the safer work one. But there's so many fucking DMs. It's like back and forth, to back and forth, to back and forth.
And I just gotta scroll down through like 400.
It's one of those things where it's like you get talking. Actually, wait, I have a. No, that doesn't show the whole one though. That's. Here we go.
Oh, I have a safer for work one from Lex.
So here's the safe for work one. I'll put that in Discord here because This is the one that I actually turned into a skin for my phone. Actually.
This is the one I love the most from him. Oh, sorry, her. I mean, who just wouldn't love to walk in on that? And I'm gonna send you.
I can actually understand the personal experience at that one, but
that one was not actually personal. That was just something I'm like.
that was mostly because that particular police officer back when I dated her, she actually generally was kind of just a goofy girl. And she always just like trying to make me laugh. Like she would do that, but she would do it purposely just to, because it was so antithetical to her style of how she liked intimacy.
Here is...
Because I could tell like she was not being serious, and so I would just sit back and laugh, and she would just be like, "Why? It's like I can't take you seriously."
This is the safe for work one I was talking about. So if you want to post it on the Discord, you can. It's up to you.
Aww.
I was gonna say you can't send it to me on Twitter because reasons. So.
Oh yeah, you're still banned on there.
Yeah,
that is cool. I like that. I like the whole RPG thing. For me, so much inspiration for me comes from my love of gaming.
Yeah, this is actually
my love of just I just love world building. I've built so many worlds for so many projects. That it's just I don't know. For me, it's an ingrained methodology now.
Yeah, I was playing a character. No, what it was, I was DMing a game of D&D, and I was like, this character is going to be following the party a lot. I'm like, I better have someone make something, but I didn't want to have my sister make something for me because I'm not a huge fan of her art style. I hate to say it.
That's something that can be tough to deal with. Like, there's so many artists that I love, and then they come to me and they're like, "Well, I need another commission for me," and it's like, because your style doesn't fit what I want for myself. It's like, I don't know how to sometimes breach that, because it's like, I don't want to make him feel bad, but at the same time, it's like, I want to be honest with them too.
Yeah. So this character, her name was Aqua, and she was from a continent that was filled with genies and jinn, and she lived kind of like on an island of like Amazoness women, and they allowed men to be there, but most men shunned them and actually pushed them to the island. And she ended up being good with dragons, so I made her into a dragon rider, and that's her in her full outfit.
It does have a little bit of that Wonder Woman feel, a little bit, which
kind
of makes sense.
Go with like a darker skin Indian sort of feel, and like go with like an Amazoness sort of look for the armor and stuff. Something leather, but not BDSM leather. And he gave me this, and I was like, yes.
I would go so far as to say it's almost a little traditional, almost RPG type stuff with it.
I was thinking like He-Man-ish. You know what I mean? Like the original He-Man sort of thing.
Honestly, a lot of those old cartoons has some fucking fantastic looks.
Oh, God.
Completely underused. I still chuckle my most recent one with Vic. The inspiration actually came from an old gamer t-shirt. And it was one where it's like, you know what? This has never been, readdressed in, I think it was like 15 years almost. It's like, you know what? We're just going to do our own twist on it. Completely take the whole concept of the scene and then just turn it on its head and make it its own thing.
What was it, an Oblivion meme?
It was Princess Peach falling basically kind of down a rabbit hole where you had like pipes sticking out, the typical sort of Mario stuff that you'd see in scenes.
Yeah.
And she's just in her dress, and it's normal, clean, safe for work, cozy.
Interesting.
Well, and it's like, you know what? We're just gonna completely take that whole Alice in Wonderland feeling and just turn it on its head and make it dirty and goofy, and it worked. And it was so completely outside her norm. Like, she does not do that kind of complicated scene stuff usually. But honestly, I think it's good that she has ones like you and me and others that will push her outside that. 'Cause
yeah,
I think she
definitely.
kind of would become
bored,
complacent, but yeah, that too, bored, and probably would end up hitting a little bit more of a creative block moment. I think that sometimes is a problem I think Lex has. It's like, no offense to him, but he does so much of the same shit.
Yeah, it's usually just the same. See, the other thing is, Lex doesn't do backgrounds. And I think that's a large part of it, because backgrounds really show a lot of a story. So I think not showing backgrounds is part of the problem, too.
Yeah.
Oh, this is what I was looking for.
It's one of those things where sometimes you gotta kind of step outside the norm.
Yeah,
that one was one of yours?
Yes. So what it was is that on the Discord that I have, I decided to do a community vote to make that character. And
it is a good character.
Said,
I'm not gonna lie, it's a good character.
Yeah. I was like, okay.
The cigar was a fun little touch. I will admit that completely.
So I was like, okay, what race do we want them? What height? Do we want them male, female, Fuda? Of course, Fuda won. And,
probably in a landslide.
Okay, yeah. And then I was like, okay, hair color, eye color, what size breasts, what size, everything else. And, of course, I don't really like hyper. So I put max of 12 inches for their, good parts. And everything came out, and I was like, okay, cool, this is great. And then I had Lex actually make the original of the character, which I'll show you. Give me just
that's something I've been thinking of doing, is working with one artist to kind of create sort of the basic one and then do like a remade version in a different style, but improved with another one. And it's like, I already know that there's going to be people that are going to be upset about it, but at the same time it's like, but this also just is going to make some things easier.
So that was the original there.
It's tough to breach that topic sometimes, where it's like, it's not you, it's just I'm trying to do. Yeah, that's definitely the same character, just different styles.
So I was like, oh, Lex, you did great, awesome. And then
no offense to Lex, but the shinier, that sometimes feels a little too shiny sometimes.
I actually like it, so I didn't like how the eye was completely closed though. I think I asked that originally.
That almost looks like, sex coma, but at the same time it's like, there's not enough with the scene to make you understand that that's the case. It just feels a little empty.
Originally, I think I said one eye closed, one partially open, but now that I look at it again, I'm like, probably shouldn't have done that. But so in any case, I got this one done, I posted it, it was all set. Then I said, okay, Vic, I had Lex do this one, I showed it, I'm like, can you go and basically remake this character? And I gave them exactly what I wanted, which was, she is a mafia boss in the underground of the Middle East, okay?
Mafia is always a fun topic to go with, because you can do so much.
So, she runs the underground sex slave industry, canon, and that's why she has the chain. So I was like, I want her in a leather chair, smoking a cigar, glass in the back with like some scotch or whiskey, on a nice desk, her coat on the table, and Vic is like, whoa, this is gonna be more money, and I'm like, do it. So
with some of us, it's literally one of those things where it's like, that's usually not the issue if we understand the budget and can kind of even parse it out in like halves or something. It's like, just give us the amount, we'll figure out how and when we can do it. Like,
so
Vicky knows I want to do like the super hyper realistic version, which she doesn't do often, but it's one also,
which is 500.
Yes, But the amount of, but it's worth it for the quality.
I know. I'd love to do it at some point, but just not right now. I have a lot on my plate. But any case, there's a story behind this. So the one that Vic did, you can obviously see there's a bit of a difference between the members downstairs.
I think she kind of sometimes has a little too much fun doing that part.
No, what it was is that I was just like, bigger. Okay, shows me another picture. Bigger. Okay, next picture.
She's laughing.
And I was
I already know she's laughing on her end.
And I'm like, okay, the balls need to be bigger. Okay, bigger. And she kept growing both pieces bigger. And then finally I was just like, maybe we should just have, like, the member itself going straight and have the balls hanging over the leg. So I was like, hey, because I just finished asking, hey, maybe we should go put them over the side or something. And then Vic is like, yeah, it's probably a good idea. So I get the picture back after a while, and it turns out that Vic thought that I meant the whole member. And she kept the balls in the same place. So now there's just this hyper fucking cock. And I'm like, oh no.
Vicky.
I'm like, Jesus.
Like I say, I love her to death, but sometimes it's...
I was like, no, I wanted the balls hanging off to the side. That's not what I meant. I didn't say it. I was just like, no, you did so much work, Vicky.
I will say, I find it extremely fascinating how I think people can happily disagree with me on this. I sometimes find that it's the cis girls that are the artists that, for some reason, seem to do the best job with the photo art. And they seem to do the best job the more male parts of the character.
Oh, yeah.
Which I just find hilarious. It's like, it's almost like they take a lot more enjoyment in doing it because it's like, yay, it's a female character, but it's at least got the one part that's going to be a little more fun.
One of the things I described was, look, it's got to be at least 12. They've got to have massive balls.
That seems to be the biggest selling point for so many of the artists that do that. It's like, it has to be like, not typical average size.
So normally I actually, like I said, I don't like hyper. So 12 is my max. And I mean, that's pushing it. Like normally I go 10, 11 max usually. So 12 is really pushing it for me. But I said to them, like, foreskin. They're from the Middle East. They have to have it. That's just how it's going to be. That and also, I mean, come on. So
it's
that's
popular for the masses. Gotta go.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah! I got the ship now. Sweet. All right. I found my way back. We're all talking about. No, well, I'm playing Wild Arms while you guys are talking about fucking giant food balls. So like.
Oh please, they're loving every minute of it.
Well, yeah, I'm just letting you guys have at it. But I finally found my way back to the frickin' place I was supposed to be.
Aww.
Man.
In our hearts.
Well, I didn't have to find my way back there. I was already there.
Zing.
I don't know. It's a big hole in it you can miss sometimes.
Woo. That's okay. I have a food. I can figure that out.
Oh my god.
Oh,
jeez.
That's gonna get us banned from Twitch.
For me,
if anything.
I'm glad that there are us artists or us more design types than the artist types that are out there creating a lot of these more original ones that kind of help push the bar, because I feel bad for a lot of these artists. A lot of the ones, they literally are spending so much time just doing fan stuff because it sells. It means the most money, and it almost feels like so many of them are now kind of almost hogtied themselves into doing the same content all the time just to make a living when they feel almost kind of lost.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things, because I always said to Lex and Vic, I said, look, I want you to have fun with this. And that's why they were like, oh no, we always do. So I was very happy about it.
So
I
you
want
have
them,
the exact same mentality as me. It's like, no, If this isn't fun for you, it's not going to come across. It's not going to be as good.
Exactly.
Everyone's going to be sad and depressed. It's not worth it.
There's one more that I need to show you, though. And that'll be the last one. I got it the same time as the Mafia one. Oh, is that it? There it is.
Oh. Let's see.
Going to bridges? No. Why can't I go under bridges with my galleon?
That is another very good one. Honestly, the funniest part is it reminded me of one newspaper article of a cop that ended up getting busted for actually just that.
Got busted for busting.
And it's just like, really? You're on duty? And it's like, it's Super Troopers all over again.
Oh, come on. You've never, done something at work?
At my job? No, I would never put my own job at risk.
Really?
I'm not admitting or denying anything because then, like, yeah.
I have built such a good reputation in the business world that I will not sacrifice that. However, in an area where I do not live, where my reputation will not be, have I done something like that at someone I've been with in their office? Yes, I will happily admit that I have done some crazy shit.
Oh,
that way. But it's there's a reason why I kind of am so methodical on shit. But no, it's like with Frozen. It's like, you got to be able to make a living, and if you sacrifice your reputation in a career, you're in big trouble sometimes. I mean, I feel bad for some of these streamers that, they keep trying to push the bar to make a living, and it's like, that's not how you do things.
Have you two gotten an invite from me to my Discord?
No, actually, I don't think so. I think you have the link on your Twitter.
Yep, give me just a second here. I'm going to send it through Discord to you.
Yeah, you can just toss it in our little group one.
I have a section called Lewd Confessions, and about 50% of them are mine. I think you need to take a look.
I have posted some of my stories on one site. It's actually gotten to the point where it's actually in editing at the moment to make like a little PDF ebook out of him.
Wow.
It's even got 2 fictional stories, which were the first fictional ones I've ever actually written in that style. And it's,
none of these are fiction.
People loved him so much. They're like, well, we want fictional ones where like you're talking to us. It's like, okay, I can do that. Give the people what they want. But yeah, no, like, I love some of the hilarious shit that I've done in real life. Just mostly in my 20s. I think once I crossed into my 30s, I had to start taking life a little more seriously, basically.
Yeah.
It's sort of, it kind of sucks how it sort of nerfs shit, but yeah. Gotta do what you gotta do sometimes.
Some really good ones. I know I have some good ones on here. Oh my god.
I think one of my favorite was, one of the favorites from people was the first time I was ever banned from a club permanently.
Oh.
I've been permanently banned from so many things. It's not even funny anymore. I stopped keeping track.
Yeah, I kind of just, I don't mind.
Oh wow, I just realized I haven't put like a ton of the ones I thought I did on here. Maybe I put them onto another one, because I know that other places have Lewd Confessions, and I probably put them on there.
On my Discord, I keep a lot of that stuff off, because I just don't want to deal with having to moderate. And the last time I helped run a server where it allowed that stuff, it ended up just devolving into the point where it's like,
I'm actually trying to get my Discord server to start getting more talking and people, because it's like everyone says good morning and then that's it. Then it's the next day and it's good morning.
I'm in
like,
so many ones. Like
come
I've
on.
scaled back on the amount of ones that I'm in, but at the same time, it's just like I can only do so much, and most people I know in mine are in others, and so it's just kind of like, well, we use mine mostly for the streams. I will share some stuff periodically just because I'd like to, just to always keep certain things shared, but
See, my thing was I created the Discord when I had nearly 8,000 followers on Twitter. Then my Twitter got hacked, and they came to the Discord and threatened me and wanted to go and blackmail me my own account. And I said, nope, fuck you. And I went and made a new one.
I still find it funny that idiots try to do that with Twitter accounts. It's like, do you not realize that no one takes their Twitter account that seriously?
Well, I was pissed because I'd finally gotten, I've tried making YouTube channels, I've tried making Discord servers, and this was something that I did on my own without anyone else, and I made myself a name in a community. So I was kind of pissed, but I wasn't gonna pay them money to get the thing back. So basically I said, fuck you, I made a new one, and now I'm back up to about 3,000, so I went and decided, hey, I'm gonna start getting back into the Discord, because I took a break to try to get my my Twitter back up, and finally I got it back up. I get back in there, and there's like 4 active people out of like 300. So I've posted on different places. I've posted a few times when I came back in my Twitter, and it's just no one's really interested right now. I'm not really getting a lot of people.
Yeah, that happens. With any server, it kind of goes in streaks, and any community in general, actually.
Yeah.
At the moment, summer's now starting to be here. A lot of servers tend to be a little more dead. Which,
yeah.
Honestly, I think it's more generally the fact that people are kind of... I hate to put it this way. People are kind of fucking sick of being inside.
Yeah.
I concur.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of hoping this means people are going to actually, like, go out and do shit this summer. More.
Certainly I am.
They'll probably procrastinate them for a lot of cases.
I hope not. I really do, because people need to get out, get some sun, touch actual grass.
Get some goddamn
I do that
dick,
enough for work.
Sorry, what? Did I just reveal too much information about myself? Yeah, whoops.
But I always chuckle, Melanie Mac, a fellow streamer, she does YouTube. She used to do the, not to make fun of her too much, but she was unfortunately the host for GameStop stupid shit. For a while there. That wonderful company that's still failing miserably. I don't know why.
Even though they got like a stimulus.
I know exactly why.
Public.
Give us your reasoning why you think they're still doing some of that stupid shit trying to survive.
Because they're fucking rip-off artists who can't, and rip-off artists never fucking change how they operate. They just continue the grift until they find a new grift.
It's just end yourself already now, company. It's.
Speaking of which, did you hear about the whole aftermath of the was it the Wall Street Bets thing?
Yep.
Yeah, the guy who did it frickin' just got like it imploded his career. It's fucking great.
Wow.
Fantastic. Yeah, no, it did not only killed the company. The guy actually had to go in retirement because he was just so embarrassed by the whole thing.
It like, still cracks me up, though.
Oh, yeah. Just imagine you get defeated by, like, MILF Hunter 42069XXX, right?
Best name ever.
I know.
That's my second account.
I'm just saying, it's not a good look for them.
That's your secret one that you just keep on the slide.
I actually have, like, 3 accounts. I have 2 Minecraft accounts, 2 Discord accounts and 3 Twitter accounts.
Oh, bloody hell. I don't have time to even manage one Twitter account.
See, the problem is, I used to be the head of a very, very big Minecraft server. And I mean thousands of players. And my name is very recognizable normal. It was fun for a while, but then after 2 years I retired. So my name was very recognizable, so I decided to just, make a different account, use a different name, and I came up with Hentai House. And I came up with, I'll go have someone make a character for me. And you can probably obviously tell I'm using a voice changer because my voice is actually out on YouTube and it's also fairly recognizable. So it's just kind of how I am with doing these things. But, I've actually had someone kind of stalk me because they're a selfish little prick that I want to go and sodomize because of what they did. They actually
don't threaten them with a good time. That's not going to stop them.
No, you don't understand what they did. They went and took a picture that they looked up my name, found me on Facebook, back searched my images, found my dating profiles, and started looking through them, finding out information about me through it. On top of that, they found that I had a Reddit where I went and told a story about almost getting catfished. And they just sent it to one of my former little coworkers on the Discord. I was like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. They were stalking me. Just because I had to ban them for showing monkey penises in the Discord.
Of all the things, the audacity.
They could at least done something quality.
Yeah.
Why something as dumb as
so many things.
They deserved it.
They would show monkey cocks. They wouldn't pinged every single one of staff, which is like 20 people, at 1 a.m. Eastern time, just to go and say that their little anti-staff group was going on 2 years, and they wanted to celebrate with all of staff. They would constantly insult people, dupe, break rules, and finally I said that it's time to just end it. And I said, you have one last chance. And in a separate Discord, I got a picture from someone who was kind of like on the inside for me in the little anti-government group or whatever. And they stated, oh, well, I'm on my last shot, and I've gotten muted a few times already. They're never going to get rid of me. I'm basically untouchable. And I was like, oh, fuck you. Click.
No, ain't no one special.
Yep.
Oh.
So I was trying to get him to act normal because he would have actually been great as staff. But because he was so enthusiastic normally about the server, because he was like one of the oldest and like most involved players. But the problem is, he was a 14-year-old asshole who did nothing but fucking post femboy pics constantly and monkey cocks in the Discord. Which you can't do.
He was fine for the first part, but like, why everyone this...
No. The server was designed for kids.
Oh, then
okay?
Yeah, no, don't...
We couldn't allow that. And
just
the previous...
post, like, goofy things, like,
Yeah. You see, the
meme about inflation where, what is it, like 143% say yes and 160 some say no or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, just keep it clean and goofy. It's so much easier.
See, the original owner allowed them to do what they wanted because they were friends. Then another owner
that is already a mistake.
Mm-hmm. Then another owner took over and wanted to leave, and I said, I'd do it. And I took over, and they just continued, and I decided to make a rule that we would make it so there was a point where you would be just banned if you just kept getting in trouble over and over and over again.
Yeah, I think we need to implement that on one server that I'm in, because it's at the point now where there's people that keep pushing bar.
Mm-hmm.
Every time that they bother to be on, and it's like, just, we don't want to be summoned constantly when we're trying to, have lives.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is why I have that zero tolerance policy. If it's not, even if it's not in the fucking rules, if I just say so, fuck you, right? Like, just I don't tolerate it because it's disrespectful to my time. Seriously, straight up.
One person actually said that they were going to SWAT another person.
Oh, that would be an insta-ban in my book.
No, for real.
But the thing is, it was on a different server. It was to someone who's part of the community, but it was on a different Discord server. But I talked to my staff. I'm like, look, I don't care if it's in a different server or not. That is dangerous, and it can kill people. So I said, we're banning him. And then afterwards, I went and posted, there was a lot of people against it, and I posted, look, this is something dangerous that is a threat to someone's life. That is why I banned it. And then I changed the rules so that it allowed us to
do that.
Ban anyone we wanted to at any time for any reason. And I mean, I worded it differently, but it was there only because we shouldn't have to have a cause if it's even on another server. If someone said to you, "I'm going to kill you," and gave a serious threat, I should have the right to ban them from my server. And that's basically what that rule allowed me to do.
Yeah, it's just sad that we live in a society where people just default to that.
I know.
Such lazy things. It's like, really? You're going to sink to that level now at this point? Just get a life.
Yeah, I got very little time for that shit these days.
See, people,
more often than not, I'll go to them and be like, really? You promise? And then they just look at me like, huh?
I feel like people just don't understand what real consequences are anymore.
No,
they
don't.
live in this
personal responsibility.
Where they think that things are funny, and they don't understand. If you told someone back, 30 years ago, you go to prison for this. Oh, that meant you go to prison. But now in the age of watching YouTube and seeing Florida man shit. All they do is huh, that guy went to jail. That's funny. Well, no, it's not. They're going to be in jail for a long time. And if you did something like that, you'd be in jail too. Do you really want to do that? No one has responsibility whatsoever.
You've seen the whole clout chasing bullshit, right?
Hmm?
Did you ever seen the whole clout chasing shit on fucking TikTok, especially? But all the social media websites have this problem where they have a large percentage of people, or large enough percentage of people, that are just shit stirrers.
Yeah.
Either they do it on purpose or they're just fucking stupid, right? But
oh my god, it's like those kids on TikTok that would literally take paintball guns and just run around and start shooting random people. It's like,
oh yeah, the assholes.
Do that. You shoot people that, all agreed to take part and whatnot, because, that shit can leave a welt sometimes.
Otherwise, it's assault. I mean, you can leave a bruise with those. I've been shot by those. It's horrible.
In college, one person was the first time ever playing paintball. They didn't realize that they turned off the safety.
Ooh.
And they shot someone point blank in the butt. But he had the biggest fucking welt.
Oh. Nasty.
We all died laughing because we knew it was an accident and it wasn't malicious or anything, but yeah, it's like, no. I sometimes wonder if those of us that grew up kind of being forced to have to learn responsibility early, if we were just the lucky ones.
No, I think what it is that the lack of responsibility comes from a lack of common sense. Common sense is not so common anymore, plain and simple. My father, he used to work for the sewage department in my town, right? And we have a college in this town. And he always loves to use a story for common sense. So he's standing on the street where the college campus is, pulling out fucking rags and stuff that are stuck and clogged in the sewer. And there's literal shit water all over the place. And suddenly the bell rings, ding, ding, and all the kids come out of the buildings. You can smell the shit. You can see the shit. You can hear the gurgling out of the pipe. And there's a truck that says sewage right there, with a man with gloves and in a hazmat suit pulling shitty rags. And my father's like, how fucking stupid do you have to be? If it smells like shit, if it tastes like shit, and if it looks like shit, it's shit!
I always find it funny, people who use that particular phrase. It's kind of like, do we need to, like, have a scale of stupid so we can now, like, you know, have an actual, like, system here that we can now use to sort of be like, well...
Yeah, there's the Kevins, and then there's the common sense. And unfortunately, my father has common sense, but his name's Kevin, so that's lovely, you know?
Oh, he's screwed now, yep.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you heard me before, NASA and all that, but in any case, so, yeah, he's screwed. But you got the Kevin guys who just like, oh, I heard it's really good if you drink your piss. No, a little bit of urea is good for you. You don't have to. Oh, you're chugging a bottle. Okay.
Oh, the whole piss drinking thing keeps coming back because people are stupid enough to fall for it, and
there was this fucking kid in high school. See, I decided not to go to my town's high school because I knew there was idiots. So I went to the vocational technical school, and I found out from some friends of mine in my town that there was this kid who not them, but someone told, if you cut off your nipple, it'll grow back. So guess what he did?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, he cut off his nipple. That's a Kevin. That's a Kevin. That's all it is.
Oh, just no.
No.
Just took a razor blade. Just...
No. I'm not gonna sleep tonight.
And
that hurt me in a very deep way.
Yeah.
See, this just continues to prove my thought that people are just dumb.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, are they dumb. Oh, trust me. I think I'm in meetings all week about that. Fuck. I can't go into exactly why.
What is the dumbest thing that either you have ever done?
Hang on. Me personally, and God, I'm thinking this one through. All right, come back to me because I've done some really dumb shit.
All right. Bree.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There's a lot of.
I know, like, what's the dumbest thing? I could give you a list of dumb shit, but I don't know if I could categorize them for you.
I'll give you a
blonde list. Kind of have to go through is rather extensive here.
Yeah, we've got lots to work with.
I got a blonde moment, I can tell you. I was in a program where, like, we went to, like, this summer camp, and they had, like, different classes you could take. And was, like, an adolescence in the law or something like that. And, like, you learned lawyer, things like that. Government stuff. And,
nope, you're cutting out a little bit, hon.
Oh, I am?
Yep.
1 second. Let me leave and join back. Hold on.
Okay.
Here.
The joy of Discord.
Yay.
Although the other option for doing voice stuff is actually worse, so glad we don't use that.
Yeah, it's
better.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're gonna go to the Plymouth County Jail, which was a fairly big jail, and they're describing it to us. And I'm sitting there, and there was this really, like, stupid girl in class, and I had a moment that I was just like, I smacked my head on the table thinking, and the teacher was just like, what are you doing? And everyone looked at me, and I'm like, I just had like I think her name was Bridget or something. I'm like, just had a Bridget moment. And she's just like, you had a me moment? What was it? And I was like, I was about...
A me moment. It's great.
Well, she knew she was stupid. It was the funniest thing.
I love it when someone just embraces it. It's just so adorable.
So, I was like, I was about to raise my hand and ask if they had stop at the county jail. And everyone's just like, what the hell? And then Bridget looks at me, she's like, I wouldn't have even asked that. That's fucking stupid. I'm like, oh my god.
I think the dumbest fucking thing I've ever done is introducing my best friend to hentai.
Oh, that is a mistake.
That's not stupid. That's beautiful.
No. Do you want to hear the whole story about how I introduced him to online porn? Because it's
go for it. Yeah,
it's a mistake.
Specifically hentai, but like also trans porn. So basically, I was one of the first people in my community to like use the internet to do like shit posting and all of the stuff that we do now, right? This is back in like the late '90s.
Dinosaur era.
Yeah, the dinosaur era where the internet still like at you, right? And
it's called dial-up.
Yeah. So like basically I knew about all of the dark shit on the internet really early on before all my friends. I started introducing to it very slowly. So I introduced my friend, I invited him over, I was like, yeah bro, I want to show you this thing, right? And I showed him what trans porn was, right? And he never thought of this. So me thinking, oh yeah, he's not into it or anything like that. I was like, yeah, do you want a drink? And it's like, oh yeah, whatever, I'll be right here. So I gone like 30 seconds, right? And fucking I come back with a can of Coke, and he's just full on beating off. Like, I was like literally in the next room. It's not like fucking I went to the other side of the planet and back, right? And I just like, whatever, I'm just gonna let it happen because there's nothing I can really do now, right? But yeah, that was one of the dumbest things because he told his fucking parents. Because I don't know why he told his parents shit. Yeah, pretty much that. Yeah, pretty much.
As soon as he said that, I was like, this is what it is.
So then he told his dad what hentai was, because like he kept coming back for more. I was like, you have a computer, bro. You could just do this at your house. He's like, yeah, but if my parents catch me, I'm in trouble. Like, you don't think my parents would catch us? I'll get in trouble. Like whatever. So yeah.
That's nasty.
Yeah, so I found out the hard way.
At your friend's house. Oh.
Well, I found out the hard way that his dad got addicted to hentai, and like, yeah, apparently his mom was real fucking happy with that. And I don't mean that ironically. I mean that she was actually like happy with that because apparently he was using that to go charge up and bang his wife. So I had to find that one out all through the hard way. Just be like, yeah, but Dad says thank you. Thank you for what? Well, the immensely good sex that he's having. I'm like, wait, what? Okay, this links back to that time you were beating off my living room. Really? Ugh. That was the dumbest thing I ever did because I really shouldn't have done that. I took everyone down a dark path.
You're gonna join my Discord and put that into Luke Confessions, right?
Sure. I don't think that one gets me so much in trouble, but like, because I don't think my mom gives a shit now. Back then, she would have beat my ass if she'd known half the shit I was doing online.
Did you have senseless?
Wow.
Yeah, my mom's not internet savvy, so she doesn't know how to check the history.
Oh my god.
I think one of the stupidest things I ever did was actually driving across the country just to meet this one girl that ended up being not a girl.
Oh.
It was a stupid catfishing situation.
I brought your taser.
I was worried about that when I went to Germany to go meet my last partner. I was seriously like thinking about it halfway there. I was like, wait a minute, I'm already on the fucking plane. What if this is all bullshit? Like,
yeah, it wasn't. I was not happy camper. Like I had even done like some, the typical Google image search and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Couldn't find any of the pictures anywhere.
Wow.
And I was like,
was it
okay.
their daughter?
No, it was a friend of theirs, but it was a friend of theirs that like, hated social media. She didn't have an Instagram, she didn't have a Twitter, she didn't even have a Facebook.
What did you do when you thought about it? You just leave?
Yeah, I was just like, oh, okay, and I just left because back then it's like, no, I didn't deal with dudes. Didn't want to deal with that bullshit.
It's like it's not worth dealing with that bullshit. I hear this every week from you, Bree.
Yeah, and yet I'm still spending time with a certain dude.
Yeah, just one though. You keep him at arm's length, right?
Yes, I do, and I'm very happy that that's the method I use to do that with, because I do not want to deal with fucking stupid shit.
See, Bree knows about my recent experience getting catfished, and the thing is, it's not going to go well for the person because they don't realize I got a whole bunch of. They got less than I got from them. Let's just say that I have a whole bunch of shit. Oh yeah, no, this is gonna be a fun one. Like when I finally just expose everything, because it's like, yeah, kind of want my money back, you fuckers. The money I intentionally gave them so I could basically like male of a darker shade. Let's just say that.
Later on, we go and like watch the news. It's just like so and so has just released.
Did you get cut off again?
Yeah, I think it's maybe a connection thing. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe. Let me try closing a couple things here.
Discord knows we're not a bunch of furries, so they're like throttling our connections.
All right, how's that? Better? No.
I think it's a little bit better.
It's usually just in and out, so it's kind of hard to tell.
Okay.
My general assumption is it's probably Discord being Discord.
Yeah, that's normal.
But, shit happens.
I've actually been single for about 3 years now. Not from lack of trying, I tell you.
Relationships are tough.
Mm-hmm.
And in the case of like me, where I'm constantly working so much, I kind of avoid romantic relationships just because it's not worth my time.
See, my thing is, I'm not the most attractive person in the world. Definitely say that. And I'm not. I've never had a relationship that lasted longer than 2 months, and even then, it wasn't really like a relationship that I would even call a relationship during those 2 months. Like it's just been little to nothing when it comes to it. Like, oh, go on a date, okay, have fun. Like my last one, she was a co-worker of mine. Asked her out. She said yes. We had a good time. I even spoke to her best friend. I'm like, how does she see me? Do you see me as a good person to date? Does she like me? And she's like, well, this is the most interested I've ever seen her in anyone. And one day, I tried like holding her hand or trying to hug her or anything. Nothing. Wouldn't let me do it. And I was like, what the fuck? So one day I went up to my car. I called her up. And I'm like, hey, I wanted to ask you a question. She's like, what's wrong? I'm like, why, you won't even let me, like, hold your hand. You won't let me hug you. We've been dating for, like, 2-3 months now. What's going on? Are we ever gonna take this to the next level in any sort of way? I'm like, and I know that she was saving herself for, like, marriage or something like that. And it's like, okay, whatever. That's fine. I don't care.
There's no shame in
And
that.
like,
Some people try to shame girls for that. It's just like, come on, you have to understand. They want.
I told her when we started, I'm like, look, I've been with many people. It's not going to be something I'm going to hide from you. That's just who I am and what I've done. But I'm like, when I'm with you, that's it. It's just you. That's just who I am. But she said to me, I like you a lot, but I just need someone who's a little more religious in my life. And I was like, you what? She's like, yeah, I thought you were a little more religious. I mean, you did have a cross on the back of your truck. And I'm like, yeah, because it's goth and it looks awesome. She's just like, yeah, it's just, I need someone who's a little more religious and a little more into what I want. And I think what it came down to is one day I took her to, like a little carnival that showed up at the local mall. And, we went in and she did like, gunpla or whatever they're called, like the little robot things you put together.
Mm-hmm.
And after because of the the mall was right there, so we went to it. And afterwards, there was this guy with his kid, and their car wasn't starting. And she's like, "Oh, we should see if we should help." And I'm like, most of the time, it's not something you can usually fix. They're better off calling someone. I see him on the phone already. Let's just leave them be. So I get to my truck. I start driving off, and I see her get out of the vehicle. And I hate to do it this way, but there's this big, angry-looking black dude that's trying to start his car, and this little tiny 5 foot like white girl walking over. I'm like, I can't let her do this. I'm like, we were in a parking lot alone. It was just the 3 cars. Like, I can't let her just randomly go over to someone that she doesn't know. So I just went over, and I was like, okay, buddy, just pop your hood. I have some jumper cables, and I went to try to jump his vehicle, and it didn't turn on. I said, yeah, there's something wrong with your car. It has nothing to do with the battery, so on and so forth. And he's just like, oh yeah, I already knew. Well, cool.
Already
could
knew.
have told her. But she said after that, she's like, yeah, I like to help people because God likes to go help other people, and people help those who help themselves or whatever. And you don't like doing that. And I'm like, it was one instance, and I could see that his car was. I could hear the ignition starting. I could see the lights on. It wasn't like a battery that I could fix. So
well, for a lot of people,
I know.
Unfortunately, in the world we live in, you'd have to kind of, I hate to say it, assume the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Whenever
just
I go
for your own fucking protection, and so it's like, yeah, it makes sense why people will more often than not call 911, but then drive past someone on the side of the freeway and things like that, because it's like, yeah, what if it's someone that's faking it as a means to, hijack your car then?
Exactly. Yeah.
I've had nearly 2 kidnap scares. Nearly been kidnapped twice. So I don't like walking too close to parked cars on like the main streets here in Denver, just because I do see people like hanging out in them late at night, and I'm just like, nope, fuck that. Like I actively avoid that. I'll walk a different way just to make sure like I ain't gonna be that one, because fuck no. I don't need that third time to be the one time, Mm-mm.
Understandable.
Yeah, I don't like people approaching me on the street at all, because I get super paranoid about some shit going down. Yeah.
Like I said, it was like 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and there was no one else. It was just 3 vehicles, mine, hers, and that other guy. And I was like, yeah, he's got a kid, but that doesn't mean anything,
Commit crimes with the children all the time. That's like a very common thing, yeah.
So I felt like I needed to help and make sure she was safe, and that was it. But she broke up because she wanted someone who was more religious and more willing to help other people. It's like, are you kidding me?
You can help other people, but you can also be like, not stupid about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can reconcile those 2 things. It's fine.
Yeah. But after that, I just kind of...
For some people, it's unfortunately a difficult thing.
Apparently.
Which is really kind of, unfortunately, almost sad, I would go so far as to say.
Yeah. After that, I just kind of gave up on dating a bit. And I was just like, just let things be for the time being. If I find someone, I find someone. But I don't know if I'll ever will find someone, but if I do, then I do.
As someone who's been married, it's good to be a little picky, I would say.
Picky. On my dating app.
You don't want to, lower your standards to find someone just because you want to find someone.
Well, so this is the thing, right? I literally put in like my bare minimum to any of my dating apps, whatever it's Tinder, Match, which you have to pay for, and I have in the past. Other sites, just I've been through like so many sites, it's unbelievable, and they always have like the Tinder swipe right, swipe left, right? I have literally gone through so many people and talked to so many people that I have run out of matches on every single one of them. There is literally no one left in my matches on the dating sites.
Do you ever get? So I gotta ask a question. Do you guys ever get the people that try to nag you into doing stuff? Because I get those a lot.
Yes.
I'm like, it's almost like they see me coming, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, they seem to think that will work, and I'm like, you do realize negging me will just invoke me to bludgeon the shit out of you, right? Like, verbally and otherwise. I don't know what about me attracts that type of person.
Yeah, I don't know. I will just not understand certain people.
I'm not into it at all.
There was one time where I got a really interesting one that wanted to talk. And have you guys ever read any of the works of Edgar Allan Poe, where there is a African American in his work?
Oh, no.
He writes it the same way that someone back then would have had the accent, so broken English, right? And I get this message of, like, hey, yo, I'd like to talk. And I'm like,
oh my god.
Okay.
Some of Ty's friends still talk that way. Like they talk like it's inner. I hate to use the stereotype, but it's literally inner city talk. Which, yes, but, I'm used to hearing that, but at the same time, it just gets so.
They typed it
old.
though. They typed it specifically, so you had to read it like that. So then I was like, sure, why not? You know, in perfect grammar and everything. And they're just like, so what ya into? And I'm like gaming and anime and stuff like that. And like, I was trying to get rid of this chick. Bad. Like, everything they liked, I disliked. And finally I was like, look, why are you interested? I like nerdy, like, white people. And I'm like, well, I grew up on a farm. That's alright. I'm like, look, I'm not interested. And just left. I'm like, Jesus.
Like I said, don't lower your standards. You'll find someone. Everyone, there's someone for everyone out there. It's just, it's tough to find people. A lot of people have their own issues too, where they often will just, it's kind of, I find it funny. I used, in my ex Danielle, who I dated for quite a while, sometimes it takes just finding the right timing, and so often than not, so many people are kind of like, I just don't feel like dating, and so like you cross paths with the right person, but because no one wants to be dating at the moment, everyone's literally missing out.
Today I was going to a gas station, and I was getting my usual, nicotine addiction, and I'm looking at the cashier, and I'm like, you look familiar. Like, did you go to BP? Which is the school I went to. And they're just like, yeah. And then I said the date. And then they were like, no. It was 2 years later. And I'm like, I remember you. I'm like, you asked me, because I was in a collision tech, which was like auto body. Said, you asked me if it was possible for a car to be made out of no metal, which I said, no. And she's just like, I remember you. You used to stand by the garbage cans. And I'm like, oh, jeez. And she's just like, yeah, I remember you. And the problem is, I had a crush on her in a way, but there was also some pretty crazy rumors about her. And I know that she's not quite right. So I don't know if I should take them at face value or not. Because, I mean, I know she was a little off. So it's like, I mean, you could tell that something was not right with her. I don't know how to put it without offending people. It's hard to say, but there was always like the rumor of like, oh, she comes in every single day with a warm bottle, and she says it's her father's piss, and she'll drink out of it. It's like, what?
There's something I will never understand. Like, there are some artists that will do some of the fetish stuff. I'm just like, I don't understand why you do
but it's
this.
like, it's like, do I take it at face value, or do I just assume that they are rumors? So it's like, she's cute, she's interesting, but there's also this baggage, and I don't know if it's true or not. You know what I mean? So it's like, do I take interest? Or do I just sit on the sidelines and let things move on? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because at some point, like, how do you even bring that up to? It's just like, so, yeah, I've been dating for a while. I heard, right, just through the grapevine, that you drink dad's piss. Like, while it's still warm, fresh from the tap.
Yeah.
Oh, so gross.
Exactly.
How do you
I don't want to
approach
get into
that
a relationship
situation?
and then suddenly halfway through she's just like, all right, whip it out, I'm thirsty. It's like, what?
It's like full Bear Grylls. Just out of nowhere, she just cracks open a can, just like,
no.
oh.
Never, no.
Yeah, so that's it's like.
All right, we're gonna we're gonna use one of the redemptions from chat and pull one of the cards from. Coincidentally, the name of the game is Extreme Personal Questions.
Ooh.
Where was the most inappropriate place or event that you snuck booze into?
Never.
Never done that?
No, never done that.
All right, we'll go with the other question on the card then. What do you consider to be your best friend's most annoying habit?
I'm gonna let you guess. Oh, wait, you talking? Is it just for me?
Nope. All of us can answer it. I already know what my best friend's most annoying habit is.
You go ahead.
It's the same bad habit I have of literally not taking time for ourselves, and we both refuse to work on it. We keep not working on it to the point that her husband will literally manipulate us to make sure that we get the other to do it as a means to get us to do it for ourselves. So he will manipulate us. That's the only mean to do it. It's kind of sad he has to do that.
I do that to my sister. It's so funny. I'll be sitting there and I'll be like, hey, can you get me a glass of water? Because I'm one of those people that constantly drink water, just every day, all day long.
I have a whole thing of water right here next to me.
So she'll go and she'll be pissed, like, you always ask me for water. Why don't you get off your fat ass and do it yourself? And then she'll be standing there pouring me a glass of water, walking in and handing it to me, while she's still pissed that she's getting me water. And it's like, if you're so pissed, why are you doing it still? It's like, I don't mean to, you keep doing it, so I keep doing it. So the thing my best friend that does... What they do that's most annoying? Okay. Mine would be that he doesn't follow through on things. Like, he always wants to do, like, graphic novels, or write a story, or do an animation, or even YouTube or something. He's got all the equipment, he's got everything you need to do it. He's got Photoshop, 3D modeling. He went to school for art, but he doesn't follow through ever. He's been saying for like 20 years. This is how long I've known him. For 20 years, he has been saying he's going to do these things, and he never has. I mean, it's just ridiculous. At this point, he actually left his job so that he could try to find something in the art industry in the Boston area, which is impossible. It's so bad that
literally one studio in the area and none of them will hire. Exactly.
So it's so bad that my sister didn't even try to right out of school. She went and applied to one place that she like kind of worked, but it was more for experience, like an apprenticeship. They said they don't have room for her at the time. Understood. And she went right to McDonald's. He, on the other hand, went to Trukey's, which is another store chain, and then went to the same company his father works for, then quit as of last year, and from there, he has been sitting in his parents' basement as a cellar dweller, and literally just twiddling his thumbs saying, yeah, I'm looking for work in art. I really would love to get into YouTube or streaming. What the hell? Just then do it, you know?
Yes.
It's like, I keep trying to, but I don't have the computer for it. I didn't have the things that I needed. I didn't have any private space, and now I'm starting to get that, and now I'm getting closer to doing it. It's like, you literally have a basement all to yourself, you have the money for everything that you need, and you still won't do it. It just pisses me off. And he is the shyest, like, most unable to speak to people, or in front of people I've ever met. So being a YouTuber, would be impossible for him, but he still wants to do it.
Honestly, streaming can be a great way to kind of start building that comfort up with talking with people.
But he needs to do it first.
Yeah, the action
like he actually has an admirable goal that will actually help him in doing that, and he's not even doing it.
I have literally said to him, I will go and put you into my Minecraft server, or I'll get a mic and we'll do some videos together, playing some games or just talking. And I need to get a Minecraft thing. I'm gonna wait a few weeks. Never happened. Yeah, at some point we'll do it. I don't know. He is so annoying. Oh, I love him to death, but he rattles my cage.
So my bestie, she just gives too much of her time to other people, and she's finally understanding that shit now. It's just, oh my god. Like, for the last, I guess, the entirety I've known her, she's always been willing to give up everything she's got for other people. And I'm just like, why do you keep doing this for people who don't appreciate it? I just don't understand it.
I used to do that.
But she finally posted to me the other day. She's like, I'm done with a certain person. I'm not saying who, because like it's her business. But like she's like, I'm finally done with this person. I'm like, oh, it only took you what the 20 years we've known each other to get that fucking shit done? like I think it's like 20 years, maybe 15 years. But like it's been a long time. I was like, you finally did the thing I've been telling you for like the entirety of the time we've known each other. Like I'm proud she finally got there, but fuck me, did it take forever. And like that's just with one person. I'm like, you need to do that with all the other fuckers in your life that you give time to. That keep time vampires.
Yeah.
Wow. And she knows I'm right, and she still does it. And I'm just like, she's like, well, I can't cut everyone out. I'm like, yes, you can. You can choose the scalpel or the sword. Pick one. Use the right tool for the right job, bitch.
The only people I talk to is work, my roommate when I see them, and occasionally text my sister. And I barely talk to my parents. I barely talk to my best friend. I barely talk to anyone anymore. I just sit at home doing nothing. It's so easy to just block yourself away from other people.
It's one of the best things to do, oh my word.
So you got any more of those cards?
I have a whole fucking deck of those cards.
Oh, that's fun.
It is a friend of mine who is in the adult industry who does cam girl stuff. Recommended the game to me, and it was a hoot. I use it as a channel reward thing, so. Because honestly, I like to give people an opportunity to just, basically ask some rather interesting questions sometimes.
Yeah.
And we've had some rather interesting ones where I will made chat have to answer, and they're just like, I don't want to. I would just like, no.
There's been quite a few we've had to outright refuse to talk about because it gives us a lot of trouble. Yeah,
unfortunately, it at the same time also will become a little adult, some of the questions. But thankfully, some of the ones are also ones where I can, pick one of the two on the individual card and be like, okay, this one we can get away with, this one we can't.
I think there was
just
one.
Pick and choose.
I think there was one I outright refused to answer. I forget which one it was.
There have been multiple ones where I've just outright refused to answer.
It's just there's some things about my personal life I don't like to reveal. Just smart, especially considering people use it against you. Yeah.
Oh God.
What?
Yes, people love to literally abuse sometimes knowledge. People wonder why in one server that I moderate, it's like, well, why don't you ever give us any ammo to use against him? Like, do you not realize how much you guys would fucking abuse the shit out of this info?
I've given enough of that information about myself to feel that shit indefinitely, and I just don't give a shit.
Like, I don't give anyone any ammo if I physically can. It's just not worth it.
Yeah,
that's why I use the voice thing and everything else. I'm not giving anyone anything.
I've got a policy now, just being really open about shit. So like, if someone was to do the whole like in real life fucking with me thing, which has happened a few times, pretty much I've already preempted it for the most part. Like, it's not really. It's been just an inconvenient conversation I have to have. It's like, yeah, if you hear something about this, here's the deal. You know. So, someone called my mum one time. I wasn't too fucking impressed, but my mum was already prepared for it.
Speaking of someone calling someone's mom, that Quantum TV idiot on YouTube we talked about one stream. Yeah, he called the one YouTuber's mom.
Yeah,
it's so pathetic. Still cracks me up. It's like,
didn't he do it a second time?
Yes,
from what I've seen.
He did it twice.
Wow.
Who calls someone's mom, a grown-ass adult's mom, and be like, "Your son's doing it"? It's like, nobody cares.
My mom would probably fucking laugh if someone tried to do that for that specific type of thing. Because my mom watches my YouTube channel.
No, I know, that's the best part.
Oh, I know. If you post this, are you gonna post this on your YouTube channel?
Yes.
Well, I mean, Frozen. Are you going to?
This no.
One? Oh, okay.
No. I'm in the current process of rebranding my YouTube channel, so I'm not putting shit there. Yeah, that's part of the reason I want to move.
Could you imagine your mother opens this one, just hears about all the Fuda and everything else we're talking about today?
Oh no, my mom knew about Fuda porn shortly after I showed it to my best friend. Yeah.
Wow.
I came out as bisexual to my mom when I was 14, so that wasn't a big deal. Yeah, no, it was really. She was more curious about the whole like ins and outs of why, and not necessarily how.
Why would you want to deal with dudes? Dudes suck. Yeah, I know. Dudes are a giant pain in the ass, figuratively and literally.
Whoa.
I always find it funny how many girls I have in my life where it's like, yeah, if my male significant other passes away, I'm just gonna actually, just move in with you. We'll just have a girl's house. I'm like, deal. It's like, why bother, dealing with guys again? It's like, yep, no, completely understand.
I talk
house
more
in the middle of our street.
I'll put it this way. I would talk more about this topic, but considering that something is here today that wasn't supposed to be, I'm not going to discuss it.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's one of the things where we like to be chill about. It's like, oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, let's just say that
that's not worth.
They're not as open and don't know much. So,
yeah,
gotta keep things to myself.
Totally fine.
Yeah, we're usually pretty chill about that shit. I think Bree and I are really good from learning about from other people's mistakes with the whole streaming thing. We're not the best at it, most definitely not. But one of the things we've avoided is just we'd avoid asking people inappropriate questions for the most part, or
oh no, I mean
don't push normally people to boundaries and whatnot.
No, normally, it's more fun when the conversation's organic and chill because you get the best shit.
Yeah, I mean normally you can ask me anything. It's just today I didn't expect this. I mean, I expected us to fully go into all sorts of deeper parts of the ocean. But, I mean, unfortunately, I can't today because of that.
It's fine.
Now, if you ever wanted me to come back, next time I'd make sure, and 100%, we'd have so much fun.
It's one of those things where I like to have plenty of streams with just me and Frozen, but it's always nice to change it up. That's the way I look at it.
Understandable.
Because, more often than not, we don't get a chance to hang out or even talk much. So.
Oh yeah, I get it. You don't want a third wheel.
Well,
some people are into that.
Yeah.
Oh.
There is that whole position called a wheelbarrow for a reason.
Ooh.
You can be the third wheel, your own third wheel then.
I learned something the other day. I had no idea that a wheelbarrow was called a wheelbarrow. I thought it was a wheelbarrow.
Yeah, you're not the only person to make that make that judgment. I went to school with a kid who did that up until the end of high school. And he finally saw it written down, and he's like, "Oh, oh!" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude."
That's what it is when it's spelled. It's like, yeah.
I went 27 years
And didn't
without
realize
knowing
that.
this. I was flipping through YouTube Shorts, and the guy who does like stick figures with a really soft, subtle voice was just like, "Oh, you know that this is actually called a wheelbarrow, right?" And I was like, "No, that's wrong, because the first one was a barrel with a wheel," and it's just like, "No,
Yeah, but that's how
not right."
the original one was kind of partly conceived, though.
Yeah. But I was like, "Oh my god, is that really how you spell it?" I had to Google it. I'm like, "Oh my freaking god." 27 years of spelling it and saying it wrong. I just, wow.
It's okay. You're just one of many, 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 many.
You got there in the end, and that's what matters.
It's
right?
like when someone says their name is Len, but you hear Glenn, and you call them Glenn for like 4 years, and finally they're just like, "Look it, my name is Len." And they're like, "Yeah, that's what I've been saying, Glenn."
Right, me with my name. My name is J, like the letter, and that's how I like say it. I'm like J, like the letter, and people will call me Jane, and I'll get angrily reply, "Is there a fucking letter Jane, bro? Like, which letter is that in the alphabet?" And they're like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Like, you weren't paying attention at all, were you? All right."
People paying attention?
No, no.
When did that start being a thing?
Thing is, this became a real big problem because my phone company did it, and I couldn't like change my services because my name was wrong. I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, you guys did this shit. Like, fix it."
You did it to me.
Yeah, I'm an innocent victim here, bro. Like, fuck off. So then they fixed it. They put my boy name down instead. I was like, "You know what? Fuck it. I'm done." Like,
this is why we can't have nice things.
Yeah.
No.
See, my name normally, I'm not gonna say it, but normally it's like a short of another name. So people always instantly assume it's the larger one, and I'm like,
it's
no,
the more well-known.
It's the shorter normal one. No, see, it's not even like more well-known. They just assume. They're just, "Oh, well, let's just say, it's not my name, but Sam, okay? Oh, hey, Samantha." It's like, "No, it's Sam." It's like, "No, that's, you fucking idiots."
One of my mom's best friends was called Sam. She always hated it with a fucking passion when people would call her Samantha. It's like, she's like, "I want to murder these people." Just like, go for it. Do it. Do it.
I'd just be that asshole who goes to the like the registry and be like, "Look, I'm changing my name to Samuel, but you're a woman, so I want my name to be Samuel."
And I didn't know there was a rule about that, but sure.
Yeah, it's just people are dumb.
Oh, I was doing Ancestry, right? And I found an ancestor with the coolest name. His name was Giovanni Raffaele Borelli. And I was like, "Oh, that is the most fucking Italian name you could ever have."
That guy definitely has a stand. All right, like for.
Exactly. My name.
That is one nice thing I do kind of like as of late. Is some more ethnic names being used by some artists for some characters that are original ones. It's like, oh, thank God.
Oh, what's that?
Because some writers have just, not to make fun of Hollywood yet again, but they kind of fucking deserve it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we're kind of sick of hearing the exact same name used for like 8 different people now. Can we kind of move on?
I gotta name one that'll make you guys laugh. I'm not gonna say it on stream, but okay. So this being my legal name, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the first 10, 15 years of my life, everyone spelled it like this.
What?
I have never, ever, in all of my travels of the planet met someone who spelled their name like that.
Wait,
I have once, but they were not from the West. They were from the Middle East.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, though. You're Scottish, right? Or English, Scottish?
English, Scottish, yeah, English, Scottish,
Okay.
American, yeah, pretty much.
Now, is it possible that's the Scottish way
No.
of writing it? Because
No.
okay.
No.
Very
besides
much.
which, this has happened all over the world. Like, this isn't just like an England thing. It's happened in the States. It happened in frickin' like parts of
In
Europe.
the States, this is so common.
It's a very common name, and yet I've been told that I misspelled my own fucking name for like the first half of my life.
Okay.
And I'm like pretty fucking sure they spelled it the way it was spelled. Like, you know, I spelled it the way
So
it was on my birth certificate. I would know my own fucking name.
This is my normal name, okay? And I'll show it on here. All right.
Okay.
This is what people call me that I hate. All right.
Oh,
This is how I've had it spelled. I've also had it spelled for some reason this way, and also
okay, that one makes no sense now.
that way before. I don't know how they fucked that last one up, but they did.
I'm thinking people are trying way too fucking hard at this point.
It's like it's like the urban myth of Shathid.
Oh, Shathid.
Which coincidentally ended up actually being not one. Shathid. Spelled this way.
God.
But the mom pronounced it Shathid.
Yeah, no.
Because it's an ethnic name, but no, it's not. It's just really bad spelling.
There is a YouTube short about that, and it's fucking great. I love it.
I will never forgive the mom for, like, okay, when it comes to the hospital doing the birth certificate, I'm so grateful some hospitals are like, you know what? We're not going to complete the birth certificate. We're going to wait a day and come back to you and be like, are you sure? Do you hate your child?
Yeah.
Do you hate your child?
I mean, Jesus. That's like the snipper riffle and knife. Or kniff, sorry, kniff.
Yeah, exactly. It's so dumb. I don't never understand it. Where it's like, what's wrong with people? And then I go, oh yeah, that's right. We live in reality. The stupid developer that came up with the game of life that we all live in still refuses to fucking patch it and fix some of these problems. It's no wonder we have such stupid things.
It's funny, when I was younger, in middle school, we used to go for walks during gym, and we'd go to the nearby cemetery, and, you know, we'd go by, like, all the gravestones, and it'd always be, like, bronze ass, and, like, busts, and things like that for names. It's just so funny.
I understand wanting to come up with something unique and different and not do the same as everyone else. But good lord, some people just take that goal a little too far.
There was this one girl in one of my classes. I was sitting next to a buddy of mine, and we looked at the book that she was reading. It was called Frozen Stiff.
That's what she said.
She just started dying laughing. And she's like, what? I'm like, look at the name of your book. And she just looked at it, and she went red and put it down. She's like, you two are disgusting. And I'm like, yeah.
Well, most people that have a home in the gutter, yes, we will be a little disgusting sometimes.
Oh, a home? Kidding me? I've got my own country.
I haven't heard that one yet. I just claim I have a permanent summer home there.
I'm the fucking queen.
You can have it. I will happily let people have that country.
Goodness. Alright. I think,
But we have reached the 2 hour and 20-minute mark. I think we did pretty good for tonight, for a nice chill one.
I'd say so.
Yeah, probably have you on again later this year sometime. I am not thinking that far ahead.
Yeah, no problem.
I want to let Frozen get settled back in to a new place and everything before I even really start thinking about much for future ones. So the next ones that I plan on doing will be trying to get Kaz hopefully on as sort of a less than perfect substitute because obviously Frozen's already the perfect co-host. There you go. Is that good enough for your ego?
No.
To win any brownie points?
No, that's fine. I'll accept
Do
it.
I need to suck the dick a little harder?
Ooh. Don't suck it too hard. You know I don't like that. There's like a perfect range of happiness.
Oh my god. Well, if you ever want me back on, whether it's last minute or something planned, feel free to ask me. I'll always be happy to pop
I will
in.
leave you on my friends list on Discord that keeps it easy.
Yep.
But I'm gonna go crash because I want to get up early and drive up north. So
I'm going to smoke a cigarette because I am a horrible person and love destroying my lungs.
I'm getting up early and going to the pool because I fucking earned it.
yes, so many
God,
pools are open now. Lakes are gonna be open this weekend. People go outside, go swimming, go to the beach. You can social distance at the beach, but it's still the beach. It's amazing.
I was doing social distance.
And for some of you dudes that I do see, you know, that I know that lurk in our thing, that also means seeing boobs.
There will be boobs.
Things.
There will be boobs.
The best thing is if you go and walk into the ocean, walk back out and say, "Hey, someone's shitting here." Suddenly, everyone leaves, so you have the whole place to yourself.
Or just do like one person did and drop a Snickers bar in the water.
Caddyshack. No, that's a Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth.
Yeah, that was a Babe Ruth one.
Yeah.
We don't ruin a perfectly good Baby Ruth bar. Snickers that we can ruin.
I love that scene where he just
love that.
Babe Ruth. Could love it. All right. Any case,
but we'll leave it at that with a good movie quote because that's so normal.
All right. Have a good night.
Have a wonderful night, and we'll catch you all later. The next stream chat will be in 2 weeks. It'll be just me probably.